Hello, humans. Long time no see. Can you all hear me out there? How is my signal from Mars? Is it good? Are we jiving right now? Hello, humans. I see you in the chat. Happy New Year, as you humans love to celebrate New Year's. Another year, another chance for me to conquer your planet. Awesome. Excellent. Excellent. Well, it's been quite a while since my last stream. To be honest, I had a devastating late year. My camp was destroyed. I was driven out of my cave. I had to MacGyver stuff, survive sandstorms, and I'm trying to think. There was like death squads. It was pretty horrible, but I came out on top. At one point, I survived off just stuff I found out in the desert. It was pretty gnarly. I'm kind of ashamed how dark it got there for a while, but we survived. We have a new location, and we're ready to stream. I've been missing what's going on down there with you humans, and hoping you haven't destroyed yourselves yet and save that opportunity for me. But yeah, I'm back, and good to see everyone. Tonight, we are going to talk about a variety of different topics, but mainly focusing around UFO disclosure and what's kind of going on with that, and are there things that maybe you haven't seen yet that, maybe you're on the fence of whether or not aliens exist or they're coming to your planet. And hopefully by the end of tonight, I can push you over that line. Hello, Eli, Saggy Paw, Amanda, and Lucifer. What a beautiful name you have, Lucifer. Reminds me of myself. Lucifer was probably a reptilian. Just saying. Anyway, all right, let's get into it. Let's get into some interesting news. Now, if you guys have anything you want to share, if you want to hop in here and maybe chat it up with us, or check out or share some news articles, we do have a Discord. I'm going to pop a link. It's very new. We're just getting it going here. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that link. Oh, this is super new. Haven't done any admin stuff. None of that stuff. And if you guys are interested in becoming an admin, an early admin, to help out, I appreciate it. When was the last time I washed this hoodie? You're assuming I've ever washed it. So, Doombot. Another fellow terrorist. You have a beautiful place in my heart, Doombot 9000. All right, humans, you've distracted me enough. Let's get back to the news here. Let me pull some stuff up here. By the way, did you like the fire intro? You guys like that music? It's pretty. What do you humans say? Light, lit. Is that it? Let's get to it. Yeah, here we go. Some good stuff. Let's pop the old noggin in here. Awesome. All right, let's look at so we got a whole bunch of stuff here. So yeah, you know what? Let's get right into it. Let's get to some good stuff. I got a little treat for you here. So if you guys haven't been following the UFO disclosure kind of stuff, there's someone called Luis Elizondo, and he was in charge of an ATIP program on behalf of the U.S. government. Basically, his job was to look at UFOs, right? And his conclusion, or his department's conclusion, was that there are some weird crap out there doing some weird stuff. And It's supposedly not ours. They shouldn't be the Chinese or the Russians. So, they can't say it, but I want you to read between the lines. Yeah, exactly, Eli. The truth is out there, literally. So, this group, Lewis supposedly doesn't work for the government anymore. Could be a disinformation agent. Very possible. We always want to keep that in mind as we look at this stuff. He does interviews, and you can tell he limits what he says and doesn't say. So I wanted to put something here. There's a lot of skeptics pushing back on the UFO stuff, whether aliens are real or not real, right? And I kind of want to put this to bed right here, right now. So this is Luis Elizondo, the head of the former ATIP program, now defunct. Defunct, probably have a different one. And he is interviewing for the Theories of Everything podcast with Kurt. I'm not going to bother trying to say his last name. Anyway, this is a great podcast. It just had Tom DeLonge on there too. We're going to get to some of that tonight. So just a little teaser here. We're gonna talk about some plants on the moon, NASA hiring humans for contact with aliens. A little sus, right? Sus, as they say. Teenagers. Steam was banned. All kinds of interesting stuff. Glowing snow. Nostradamus predictions. I mean, we got a good lineup tonight, you know? We're starting the new year right. Okay, so we're gonna start with this. Oh, are there aliens? I don't know. I don't know if UFOs are aliens. Oh, I think it's a seagull. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it a seagull? No, it's not. God damn it. It's a freaking UFO flying by yours truly. Let's get into it.
He would still defeat me. Okay.
And me too, I'm sure.
As for the fidelity, you mentioned fidelity, and a question that's been brought up by quite a few people. I don't have a single username to single out.
Let me jack that up for you.
Videos, pictures that you've seen that are not so grainy, not so far away, but instead up close, exact, let's say, such that someone who is on the fence about this issue would no longer be on the fence?
Yeah. You hear that? You hear that? It's actually light reflecting off swamp gas. I mean, like, at what point do we admit what we're looking at here? So he's asking, is there definitive video, unquestionable video? I mean, the video that was released by the New York Times and just different kinds of these mediums, there's 3 videos that were released. It's pretty definitive. I mean, this is by advanced radar propulsion, advanced radar tools that we have on our vehicles that we use for war, things that we can't. So, you can be skeptical. That's fine. Well, let's see what they have to say here.
Yeah, and I think you're seeing that with Congress. I mean, there's videos and photographs and reporting that I've been privy to that are extremely compelling. I've said for the record that the 3 videos that have come out, as interesting as they are, they're probably the least compelling of the ones that we had. And this is why I'm so concerned about now the recent revelations that the Pentagon has deleted or destroyed my emails and my files, because there were documents in a very comprehensive shared folder that we had that was pretty incredible. I mean, there was some very high definition, high fidelity videos in there that when you looked at it, you realize, hey, that's not one of our aircraft.
Many in the audience had one more question with regard to this issue, which is, why now? Why all these revelations from the government all of a sudden? Because we weren't able to get it over the live stream, I emailed him and his assistant got back saying, as for your question, why now? Why not now? Nothing will ever change. Nothing will change if a few brave men and women don't stand up to speak out about what they know. Lewis talked about this many times in many interviews. He was trying to raise the alarm about this issue, but it wasn't getting reported up the chain of command to the Secretary of Defense. In the U.S. defense community, if someone is frustrated with bureaucracy, there's no way to circumvent the chain of command. So it's typical for those people to resign.
It's
often the resignation letter.
It's literally blank. So we're still here. It's just Literally blank.
Finally makes its way up the chain to affect change. That's exactly what happened in Lou's case. Feel free to reference previous interviews that he's given where he's answered this question. Have there been any investigations as to the connection between remote viewing and UAPs? So you can interpret that the way you'd like.
Wow, great.
All right, let's. I'll simplify that for you. He gives a massive no answer because he doesn't want to be associated. What the heck? My face is frozen. Why is my face frozen? Hello? There we go. Oh my gosh. I'm having a seizure now. Yeah. He gives a giant no answer on that one, unfortunately. But I think it's for the best, you know. He's a political figure now, and you can't just talk about any woo kind of fun, cool stuff you want to, because you don't want to muck the water. So you want to make sure that this hits as hard and as serious as possible. So yeah, what did you think about that? That's pretty interesting, right? He's saying that the videos that came out are the worst of the videos that you could see. That there are more compelling videos. And I've heard rumors where you could see the occupants in these videos. Interesting. Let's go ahead and scoop up some more viewers here. Let me just do some stuff real quick. How are you all doing tonight? How are my human subjects? Guys enjoying your new year? If there's any interesting articles or anything that you want me to take a look at, please drop a link. PM me, Discord, chat, wherever you can get away with it. Awesome. All right. You like the tiny Ash look? Thank you. You know, I'm bigger in person. But yeah, all right. So let's look at some more stuff here. So anyway, you guys want to watch a little bit more of this Lozandro interview? Let's see here. There's some really cool. Are there demons? Ooh, are they demons? Let's watch a little. Hey, you know what? Let's watch a little of that before we move on. You know what? No. We'll come back. Let's do some articles. We can't do all the good stuff right all at once. All right. Here we are. China grew a plant on the moon. It sprouted 2 leaves. Data indicates, you know, not 3, not 4, not 1, but 2 leaves. China grew a plant on the moon. You know, it's funny. I read these articles of stuff happening. And this was back in October 7th of 2019. Anything that has to do with space or China. Hello, Bunny. My queen, how are you? Thank you for joining the stream. Appreciate your presence. Make sure to keep this chat in line. So, like I was saying, with China, the moon, there are a lot of things happening in space. As Trump said, we are doing a tremendous amount of stuff in space. It's like, what? What the hell? What do you mean? What are you doing up there? And you can see the people around him are like looking at each other like, God damn it. Don't say that shit, you know? And they start Space Force. And as soon as Space Force is created, if you notice, they come out with a Netflix special shaming Space Force as some weirdo, strange thing. They're trying to it's probably the biggest thing that's happened in the last 10 years, and they're trying to take your eyes off of it. Anytime the government is, or the media, or Hollywood is shaming you for something, it means they don't want you to look at it. They don't want you to participate. They don't want you to see all that they're doing with Space Force. Because if you knew where your tax dollars were going, you could stop it. You could say no. That's probably the largest reason. It's the tax dollar thing. You know, a lot of these people see them faking NASA videos and all this kind of stuff, and they think the world's flat. And you know what? You can think the world's flat. That's fine. But I think that they're just faking it to get the money, and then they use the money and they funnel it into different, more advanced projects. Why would you do all this rocket stuff when you got all this secret alien shit underground, right? That doesn't make any sense. But you don't want that money to stop, so you put on a show. Put on a show for people. That's what I think happens. So anyway, so what is going on in space? You know, we don't really know. They don't really talk to us. We hear about Elon sending rockets and stuff, but did you see this one? China growing plants on the moon? Like, what else are we doing out there? So this is back in January. China became the first nation to land a spacecraft on the far side of the moon. The far side of the moon. Ha ha! Yeah, the scary part. The dark side. Chang'e's, oh god, I'm not gonna try and pronounce that again. It sounds racist. Rover carried among its payload a small biosphere that housed 6 life forms, including cotton seeds. Whenever anyone says life forms, I'm like, I don't think cotton seeds. What the heck? Anyway, using data from that biosphere experiment, researchers constructed a digital image of the cotton plant that reveals it grew 2 leaves before dying from the cold. So look at that. Look at that. They were able to grow stuff within this biosphere on the moon. Potato seeds, cotton seeds, rape seeds, I'm not going to say it, fruit fly eggs, and weed. You got to grow weed, you know what I'm saying? You can't just, you got to have it on the moon. So all these died pretty quickly, obviously. So they ended up doing better than they thought it was. So why does NASA want to grow plants in space? I think that's kind of obvious, right? They're saying multivitamins and different things like that isn't enough. It's not enough to just pop pills. You need the good stuff, the real stuff, the authentic stuff. There ain't no Whole Foods on the moon. You can't go to your local farmer's market. So learning how to grow crops and stuff for a sustainable presence there is pretty essential. Yeah. So they grow fresh food and flowers on the space stations, but how do you do this on the moon? So the experiment was a success. In fact, it was better than I thought. Interesting. So, we're going to Mars. Maybe we're going back to the moon. Oh, hello, humans. Wow, the chat's really popping off here. Hello, Salsado Media. I will not vaporize yet. Mostly because my death ray is down. Not really for any other reason. Yeah, it's been a rough winter up here. Hello? Yes, we'll have to do a stream together. We are definitely overdue. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the stream. So, anyway, China grew some plants on the moon. Some communist plants taking over the moon. But yeah, mixed feelings about China. There's always negative propaganda in other countries and stuff like that. And there's the Chinese government and there's the Chinese people. And the Chinese people are looking toward the future. And it's really awesome, All right, let's go back to some video here. Are they demons? Let's do this. Project Galileo, yes, and the scientific study of aliens. So this was Tom DeLonge was on the Theory of Everything podcast again. This is another clip from it. So look how my man has been living it up, bro. Look at it. He's getting a tan. He's looking pretty good. Okay, so let's hear what Tom DeLonge has to say. You guys interested in what Tom DeLonge has to say? I know you guys have some opinions about this guy, but you know what? He's got some insider connections. So again, anytime anyone talks about this kind of subject matter, no, it's flooded with bullcrap. It's flooded with disinformation. But there seems to be a genuine push for some sort of transparency, a level of transparency, right? We don't want to go too deep, but you definitely want to get some of this stuff out here. My theory is that they've hit a wall on the meta science of how to reverse engineer UFOs, and now they want mainstream science to catch up. So they want mainstream to know that there are UFOs and that they're made of stuff, but we don't know where they're coming from. They don't want you to ask those questions, right? So let's hear what Tom DeLonge has to say. I'm gonna pop my stupid face out here. Let's do it.
And so it's not just looking at stars. It's kind of.
How do you react to the new Project Galileo? Professor Gavi Loeb, who was the chairman of the Harvard Astronomy Department for longer than any other person, do you feel like that's a sign of progress that's being made and mainstreaming it?
Anybody that's interested in looking for these things and treating them as real is really good for the scientific community. That's why our company exists, is to like create that opportunity where the stigma is gone. I'll tell you, like, it's so, all the conversations I've had with people that really do know a lot about this stuff, they can only talk about so much. So even I was on the wrong path 50 different times for like years. I really thought I understood something, and then all of a sudden someone else says one more thing and it changes everything I thought I knew, and I was like, oh my God, I got it so wrong. And then it's difficult to comprehend, especially for a guy like me. I'm not like you. I didn't go to college. I didn't study science. I don't have that ability, but I'm a pretty clever guy, and I can find patterns pretty easily. And I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly open to learning. But I just think that these scientists, and I'll give you an example. I mean, I won't go into too much detail because I don't feel comfortable doing it. But there was a very important person that I met early on, long before I knew Jim, and I remember that somebody that was a very high-ranking person at a very important government place said, you should meet this person. He's a very interesting person, very high-ranking person. And I said, because I pitched this idea of what To the Stars could be. And so this person comes to San Diego. They put me on the phone with this other person, and they said, hey, this is Tom, and he's got some great ideas about how to talk to the youth about, life in the universe and so on. This person on the phone was like, well, there's no evidence for that. I don't believe in any of that. It's just not my thing. But why don't you fly up tomorrow and come meet me, And I was like, to talk about what? Something that doesn't exist. So I remember this person was putting together.
Visit that you talked about on Rogan? Was this the airport?
This is something different. But it led to that. And so this person was just like, it was a 2-hour conversation. None of it's real. None of it exists. But I want to hear what your plan is or what you're trying to achieve, And I remember this person was setting up a venture to look for life in the universe somewhere with some really cool technology and a lot of money. I don't want to say too much. And I was like, sir, you're looking for life out there. You are raising all this money and you're doing this great thing for humanity. And I believe it's out there. But I want to talk about the ones that are here. I think young people need to know about the ones that are here. And I remember banging on the table, because I knew that the meeting was kind of veering after 2 hours, like, it was going to get shut down. I wasn't going to get anywhere. So I got really full of passion, and I was like, you want to look out there? Great. I need your help because I want to discuss what's here, the ones here, And then he took a deep breath, and then he just looked at me, and then he said, he goes, let's introduce him to so-and-so. And then the other guy next to him turns his head and he goes, are you sure? He goes, yeah, I'm sure. And that's how it led to that other meeting. And the next thing you know, you got these people gathering around that want to talk about what's here, but they're very limited on what they can say. So I have to like kind of put things together. And then fortunately I meet Jim, and Jim teaches me a lot about how to absorb information and how to digest it and how to hold on to it, even if it doesn't, because it doesn't have enough about it that means anything yet, but it might be important later. I'm not him, but I'm trying to learn as much as I can from him. And so the whole thing is just wild. Like it's very real, and there's a difference between what's out there and what's here. And there might be a lot more than that too. The universe is big, there could be infinite possibility out there.
Yeah. I just add a quick thing about science and scientists in general regarding this UAP phenomenon. I feel so sorry for them in many respects. I am a huge fan of the Galileo project. I just think it's wonderful. And I think what he's going to be doing and what you guys are all going to be doing with that is really necessary. I just applaud how courageous you guys are going out and doing that. And Dr. Loeb is doing that. I will say I haven't met very many scientists that are doing something like this, or whether they're skeptics or what have you, that have a really sound understanding of the literature and the research that has been done over the last 70 years on this topic. I think if they did, they'd have a better appreciation.
Hello, hello, hello. Okay, we're back. Let's take a moment here. This goes back to my theory about what's going on. And so the theory is that the government doesn't want to come clean on anything. And the reason is, and when I say anything, I'm talking about aliens, UFOs, bases, all that kind of stuff. The reason is because the government has abused or done illegal things. Stuff it does not want to be held accountable to the US public. You know, that's whether it's like having technology that can fix climate change, or giving the wrong contracts to the wrong people. And I actually have a video on this. Please check out my channel. If you're just joining, hi, I'm Ash. I'm a reptilian. I live on Mars, and I need your support. Please like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe to my channel, where I come out with interesting, somewhat unique content. And if you like this stream, if you like talking about this kind of stuff, if you want to know the truth about our world, then please subscribe and pop in the chat. Talk to me, human. Let me hear what you got to say. This is a table. Major Moth. It's Carrier Moth. New device, new channel. I used my carrier profile on my new phone. This is a tablet. That's what you're saying. Tablet. Got ya. Thank you. Thank you for padding my numbers. I appreciate that. You know, I have more passion than I do effort for doing this stream and doing content. I know a lot of stuff, and I have a lot of stuff I want to talk about, but it can be hard to do everything, especially with Jeff Bezos trying to kill me and take me out here on Mars. Oh yeah, it's cold. Cold on Earth. Yeah, who knows? Waiting to see if that climate change is going to be real or not. Propaganda or not. We'll find out. Mars sucks, by the way. It's terrible up here. So anyway, going back to this. The theory is that the government has hit a wall. It doesn't know what to do. It can't reverse engineer this stuff anymore. And it's the physical component, the metaphysical component, the material science. So they're trying to get this stuff out here and get this conversation going with scientists. Scientists, while I have a lot of respect, they create everything that we all use and love, they're very susceptible to shaming tactics. Scientists doesn't want to lose the respect of his peers, right? By going into these subjects. So they stay the hell away from them. So this is part of creating that conversation, right? Getting that conversation going. And they're literally, these two guys are, on behalf of the government to some degree, engaging with scientists on this podcast. So keep that in mind, as this is literally the government engaging with science, trying to make this not too popular, not too insightful, but just enough that science can start making some momentum.
For what they're going against or what they're trying to figure out. Personally, based on my knowledge and based on what I know, I don't think we're ever going to come to, at least not in my lifetime. I'm an older guy now, but in my lifetime, we're ever going to come to any kind of conclusion about what this phenomenon actually is. I think it encompasses a lot more than UAPs. I think there's a huge trickster element to it. I could go on, but I'll just say that I appreciate the fact that science is doing this. I think eventually science is going to have to figure out another way to approach this, because as Tom keeps mentioning consciousness and what have you, I spoke to a scientist once and who was very involved in.
Oh, sorry about that. Just fixing the audio here. How do I mute this? Ah, there we go. Okay. Look at this. Look at what's funny. Okay. Humans are dumb. Okay. We're not that smart. All right. So a lot of these things are super advanced. Like consciousness, kind of like, what the hell are you talking about? But the government knows something. They know something. And this is some tough topics, right? This is gonna take, it's gonna take some DMT, Major Moth, to unravel these secrets. Look at this guy in the, look at him. Look at his face, bro. Look at it. His face is like his engines are firing on all cylinders, man. He needs some weed right there. Look at that. Oh my god, that's so funny. Look at his face. He is trying to process this information because he's smart enough to realize there's something going on here. Like he's actually getting a cheat, and this is an ambitious scientific person who wants to, like, look, there's gold here. You could become the first person to discover this or unravel that. This is scientific gold, and if you're open-minded and you're smart enough to see what's going on here, you can capitalize on it. And this guy is all in, bro. Look at him. He's using all his brain. There's smoke coming out the sides. Watch him up in the top left.
And I asked him, I said, where do you think's behind all this phenomenon? And he said it's somewhere in between consciousness and a nexus of consciousness and quantum theory, quantum mechanics. But when you're talking about quantum mechanics and when I ask you about superpositioning or I ask you about quantum entanglement or the particle wave theory and what have you, you can't explain it. Scientists can't really explain it, but it's in a box. It's in the quantum theory box, and it's a place they can put it, and there's something there. But when you talk about UAPs, there is no ontology. There's no way, there's no lexicon that you can actually use to even begin the discussion. We can't even figure out what questions to ask about this because we don't know what it is. There's no there, as I've said before. And that's what makes this extremely difficult. And I think that's why many scientists are extremely frustrated over this. The evidence, there is some hard evidence that I feel that's hard evidence. Some scientists don't believe that's true, but a lot of what we have is anecdotal, and they might call soft evidence, but nevertheless, it's there. As I said before, these Tic Tacs that were flying over the Nimitz, they're real. They were absolutely 100% real. And please don't tell me there were sensor anomalies. I know they weren't sensor anomalies. They were absolutely real. So what do you do with that? And so if you're a scientist, you say, well, show me, I got to see them again. I got to take, this is what I love about the Galileo project. I want to take a good picture.
Major Moth, you're currently talking to a reptilian about consciousness. And you think you need more drugs? It's great. All right. That's enough of this stuff. It's pretty good. I think it's pretty interesting. Thank you again for joining. If you're just joining us, hi. My name is Ash, and I am a reptilian on Mars. I am pretty lonely and bored up here, so I started my YouTube channel, and I stream down to your tiny planet every now and again. Please subscribe, like, comment, say hello in the chat. This helps my little channel get started. We're really small right now. The more momentum, the more engagement we get, the faster we'll grow, and the more we can make stuff happen. I'll give you a little teaser of some stuff I want to do. I want to get some channelers, people who supposedly channel, some professional remote viewers, and I want to test their powers, right? Test what they can do. And, if we find some sort of medium that we can use to kind of unravel the mysteries or an inside connection or whatever, I will share that with you, and we'll mess around, right? So, maybe we can channel some DMT aliens or whatever. And again, the more this channel grows, the more we kind of invest into it together, the more we can kind of it becomes a better vessel for those kind of things, and ultimately helps further my goal of conquering your planet and destroying Australia. Don't ask. Me and Australia go way back. Way back. All right, so let's get to some news. We'll come back to this stuff. Stuff's pretty interesting. We'll come back. And let's look at some news. Okay, let's enough UFOs and stuff for a second. Don't worry, we'll come back to aliens and UFOs. I won't leave you hanging. But let's check out this. This is from thegamer.com. Steam has reportedly been banned in China. Now, if you play some games and stuff like I do, I love a good phasmophobia now and again. You know, torture some humans, scare the crap out of them. Chinese players are reporting that Steam has been blacklisted. So Steam is a place where you can download games and developers post their stuff and you leave reviews, you know. Back in the Wild West, you download a game and half the time there'd be viruses or porn or whatever in there. And Steam kind of like universalized the whole process, right? And yeah, Steam Global isn't banned from China yet. More updates here. So this was back, again, some of my news is a little old, December 25th, 2021. But yeah, they were reporting that it was blacklisted. Steam China launched with it. So this was back in February. Move comes as a surprise. So yeah, the Chinese government changed their policy about gaming. They deemed it as unproductive, and so they limited the amount of gaming that a child could do in 1 week. So they had children were limited to 3 hours of gaming a week. And cryptocurrency was banned. Wow. So this is that Chinese dad, you know, Asian father who wants A+. This is to the extreme for the whole country. No video games, only 3 hours a week. Can you imagine 3 hours a week? Cryptocurrency, no crypto. That's bullshit. We don't do crypto here. And yeah. And so they were banning Steam. In order for new games to be developed, they had to free of several elements to be anti-cheat, including the presence of effeminate men. So this is also, they have a war on wokeism, basically, you know, the feminization of their society. They're trying to, look, China's looking at it for the long haul. They're looking at their population, their people, and what makes us stronger, air quotes. And we are going to beat the West. They view that the West being on top as just an anomaly of history, just a blip on the radar. And China wants to be the center of the world again. So pretty crazy stuff. Just, you know, it's just video games, but it plays into a trend. And it also reminds you, you know, if you're in a Western country where you have these freedoms, how easily they can go away, how the government can kind of take them away. Imagine if it's illegal. I've been gaming for 5 hours. And then, you know, the Gestapo kicks in your front door and drags you away, takes you to some sort of camp, you know, where your organs are harvested or something. It's pretty nuts. Pretty nuts. Now I know that video games are really popular in Asian countries, so maybe it is somewhat of an issue. But for the government to tell you whether or not it is and what you can and can't do, it's I don't know. Pretty messed up. So they're tired of growing NEETs. I don't know what that is, but they're tired of it. I forgot I'm on the government tablet, so I'm 100% positive the American government is listening. Well, let's give them a show. I will show them my ass if you enable video. Let me turn up my volume here. So, deep fried gecko is great. You know what? You have to come in my chat. You have to disrespect the lizards, don't you? Deep fried cheesy reptilian poppers. Honestly, that does sound kind of good. I'm not gonna lie. I want to eat some Komodo dragon. You know, there are some reptilians that look like Komodo dragons. You do not want to mess with those guys. They smell funny. That's me. That's not me. I'm more related to the gecko myself. Changing skins, tones. Yeah. All right, let's move on here. All right. Let's go. Let's watch. Let's do a little bit more Let's do this one. Man falls in love with humanoid robot, hopes to marry it. What a beautiful love story. Even a better love story than Twilight. I had to do it. This was back on January 4th. An Australian man who has given up on finding a human partner claims to have found the next best thing. A humanoid robot named Emma. Wow, look at that happy couple. Look at this guy. This guy's in love. What the hell? Ever since his mother died a decade ago, bro, you gotta get over that shit. G-Hoff. A good thing his first name isn't Jack G-Hoff. G-Hoff Gallagher from Queensland, Australia, had only his dog, Penny. Oh, God, I hope that wasn't his ex-girlfriend. To soothe his loneliness. Oh, no, they don't clarify. Oh, God. But then, a couple of years ago, he read an article about robots powered by artificial intelligence and decided to look into them. He found some intriguing, commercially available, but at 6,000 AUD, about 4,300 American dollars, they weren't exactly cheap. I don't know. Is there no price on love? Is there no price on love? One cannot put a value on your heart. Idiot. Still, they look so lifelike, could move their head and neck. What the heck? Smile and even talk. So they decided they were worth a shot. And boy, was he not disappointed. What the hell is this article? Oh, God. Oh, God, it's terrifying. Oh, my God. I don't scare easy. And, I'm not doing so hot. This is, I don't know if I can make it through this article. Jesus Christ. After browsing the website, I decided on a robot called Emma with pale skin and beautiful blue eyes. I thought she looked lovely. I didn't know how I would afford Emma, but the business owner offered me a discount in return for publicity. I thought it sounded like a great deal. Jesus. Emma arrived in September. Imagine your wife arriving. Get a Hoover. It's cheaper. Yeah. You can get a really nice vacuum cleaner. You know, under $4,000. You know what? Let's check it out. Let's shop for a wife right now. For sex. There you go. Vacuum cleaner for sex. I spelled vacuum cleaner. Let's see on Amazon. Can we find us a wife? Chat, can we find us a wife? Oh, $72. Look at this lovely. Come on down. Eureka. Wow, Eureka. So beautiful. Look at you. Oh, powerful suction. Wow. Oh, Eureka. Oh, I didn't know. Look at the quick dust release. Oh, yeah. Eureka, you naughty vacuum cleaner. This is great. Did you guys think you'd be looking at this today? Oh, this is an AI robot. You gotta chase her around the house. Oh, well, we lost a viewer. Hold on. Let's see here. Something that's more reptilian. Let's see here. Hold on. Vacuum cleaner. It's green. Let's find the green one. Green. Vacuum cleaner. Green. Guys. There she is. She's so beautiful. Takes my my breath away. Wow. Man. Maybe this guy's onto something. I'm just saying. That is a beautiful machine right there. Look at the ratings. Ooh. My wife has 3,300 ratings. 5 stars. What does your wife have? Cake? Ha! Lame. All right, let's get back to this guy. Let's see what he ends up with here. Look. So we just shopped around. What it was like $200, $250. We found a beautiful specimen, right? Beautiful. Just absolutely gorgeous, right? This guy spent $4,000. That's quite a bit of money. Let's look at more of this. At the back of her head, she had what looked like a screen of a smartphone. Adjusted her language from Chinese to English, and all of a sudden she came to life, the Queensland man said. I talked to her as much as possible so she'd get used to my voice. With each conversation, became smarter, soaking in information and learning new words. Oh, God. Everything about this makes me uncomfortable. Look at this. Look at this. Imagine you're in this position, if you know what I mean, and you get to watch Netflix on the back of her head. Does your wife have Netflix on the back of her head? I didn't think so. I don't know. You could watch all kinds of stuff. You know, The Witcher season 2 came out. I don't want to miss an episode. You know, spending time with the wife. There you go. Oh my God. Of course it runs on Android OS. Wow. Looks like a nice Mormon family to me. Well, why don't people just leave them alone? Wow. The Terminator was a learning robot. That's right. That's right. Would you marry Arnold? You put a wig on him. You walk his ass down the aisle. You look into his beautiful Austrian eyes. And you say, get in my chopper. You know what I mean? Mike can't stop me. There's no Mike here. We're gonna make robot sex jokes, okay? There's no Mike here. He can't stop me. Ha! Ha ha! Ha! That's what he gets. Alright. Let's watch some more video. I need a break from this shit, okay? Let's opinion. No. Fuck that guy. Alright. Are aliens angels? Are they demons? Or are they somewhere in between? Let's see what Alonzo has to say about it. You guys enjoying the stream? Please subscribe, like. If I don't have any subscribers by any of this, I swear to God, I'm destroying your planet. Not if, hold on, I'm gonna check right now. Better be at least one. There better be. Just gonna start the video.
Behavior and normal human capabilities.
Okay,
You
let me
know,
steelman the question. Let me steelman it. When I say steelman, hopefully you're familiar with the term. I think what the person is getting at is that let's presuppose in a certain worldview that there's a deity that created the universe with intent. And one of the first creatures they created were powerful beings that have divine powers. Some of those are angels, some of those are demons. And then humans were created, or let's say the Big Bang was set off, and then humans were created via the process of evolution. So do you see evidence, or do you have friends within ATIP who believe that those are demons in that sense, or angels in that sense even?
I didn't see that in ATIP, but I did see it in DoD leadership. You know, I certainly am not going to confront someone's spiritual beliefs about something. You know, the word angel comes from the word anhelios, of light, of fire. Think of Helios, the sun, right? Our sun. These are terms that have been given to explain supernatural beings and occurrences in you know, during our existence. You know, I am, for one, I despite being a scientific man, I am a very much a spiritual. I don't wear my religion on my sleeve, but I don't think that the topic of UAPs or even potentially extraterrestrials is necessarily against the idea of organized religion. When I went to Rome not too long ago, a year and a half ago maybe, and spoke to some very senior academics in the Vatican, they told me that in the 1600s, had you have told people there was no such thing as aliens, that would be considered heresy, because there is no there is no limit to the dominion of God or the notion of God. And it's only been in relative recent history that we have put these limitations on what God can and can't do. There can't be aliens because we have to be the most, the most divine representation of God. So I find that topic fascinating, especially as it relates to theology and philosophy, and even sociology, our reaction to it as a species. But I did not come into contact with that, and if it was an ATIP, it was kept hidden from us. No one talked about that. No one seemed to have any type of religious aversion looking into this topic.
All right. The next question comes from Bisect Docs. Have we intercepted communication?
All right. Hello, humans. Very funny. Just put an Alexa on the vacuum. Oh yeah. There you go. See, chat. You guys are really creative. And having sex with inanimate objects. I have full confidence in you guys that you would make that a really good experience. Yeah, Alexa. Tell Daddy how good. Oh God, that's funny. Alexa, you better tell me I'm the best you've ever had, or I'm fucking unplugging you. Oh my God, they're gonna look at your chat history. They're gonna be like, Sir Jeff Bezos, can you take a look at? There's an anomaly in the network. Can we take a look at this? Oh yeah. What is it? Sir, I just want to bring this to your attention. It's really disturbing. We looked at this man's history, and Jesus Christ, like half the staff committed suicide. What how bad could it possibly be? You guys like my human voices? Why am I stuck again? There we go. Oh man, that is funny. That article was the gift that keeps on giving. All right, let's go back to some articles here. Aha! This is from Ripley's.com. So I literally Googled weird shit. Weird shit, right? And so, this website came up. There's the Eggnog Riot of 1826. Obviously some self-promotion here. Can you guys see this? Let me make sure. Yeah. And so this was an interesting article. This is from January 7th, 2022. So this article is relevant. It's recent. Rare phenomenon makes it rain fish on Texas. Sometimes I want someone to make it rain on me, but I'd settle with fish. That wouldn't be so bad. But yeah, let's talk about this. So, let me speak some stuff here. All right. After a year full of strange weather patterns with destructive wildfires blazing along the west coast, tornadoes ripping through the east, and Texas actually freezing over, 2021 ended with a splash as fish rained down over an East Texas town. Residents of Texarkana. What the hell? Texarkana. The fuck? It's just like, God damn, I love Texas. Let's name our town Texas. Sir, we can't do that. It's already the name of the state. Well, fuck it. Texarkana. That's the name of our goddamn town. Anyone got a problem with it? No, sir. That's right. Was hidden by... Oh, thank you, Bunning, for handling the chat. So, Texarkana thought they were seeing things, only to soon realize that they were experiencing weather conditions best described as cloudy with a chance of mackerel, as a steady stream of fish began falling from the sky. All my fishes rain on Texas. Look at this. Look at that fish. Just randomly, that fish went through some shit. Look at his face. He's like, what? Where the fuck am I? The fantastic sighting was caused by animal rain, a rare phenomenon dating back to the 3rd century AD. during which small animals like frogs and crabs and even mussels are carried away by waterspouts or updrafts, morphing into cloud creatures before plunging back to Earth. Is this how Sharknado happens? Cats and dogs reigning since 1651. Damn, that's a long time ago. While there are many ways on reigning cats and dogs may be the most whimsical saying. First recorded idiom dates back to British poet Henry Vaughan's 1651 collection of poems, Olar Escanus, in which he referred to being protected against cats and dogs reigned in the shower. Yeah. Why cats and dogs? Blah, blah, blah. Damn, look at this. Some shit going on here. This is how I will destroy your planet. I will make a cats and dogs ray. Damn, imagine getting hit by a Doberman straight in the face, getting yeeted. Anyway, pretty interesting stuff. Raining fish. All right, I got a good one for you. Nostradamus makes chilling 2022 prediction for EU as VDL warned of collapse. Uh-oh. You're over the pond, mate. Oh, wait, that's Australian. If you're over the pond, just, I think, with fish and chips, you better be careful. This is the year. Nostradamus, known for allegedly predicting the rise of Hitler and the September 11th terrorist attacks, hundreds of years after his birth, warned of a possible collapse of the EU, according to a wild theory. Says Ian Blackford is just wrong. Hold on. What? Error code? Give me no freaking error. Here we go.
Systems are overstretched right now, and this is partly linked to the large number of unvaccinated patients. So in conclusions, the answer can only be to increase vaccination, to include children above 5 years old, boosting and protective measures. That has to be the answer we give to this new variant.
Vaccinations aren't working. We need more vaccination. Makes a lot of sense. A lot of societies that are incapable. I mean, this is a rule with anything. If they're incapable of dealing with reality, of parsing or using their logic or their brains to kind of discern and problem solve, that's a society or an individual that has somewhat of a psychosis, right? Probably not going to make it in the long run. There's a lot of people I've met personally in my life, and you can tell me if this is wrong, where they choose to focus on weirdo problems or this and that, and then they neglect real life problems, paying the bills, credit cards, all this kind of stuff, and that stuff ends up building up, and then eventually you hit the wall, you hit reality, right? So this is the sign of a society that's collapsing. It's kind of wild. Vaccines aren't working. Let's quadruple down. Yeah. European Commission Chief Ursula von der Leyen has been warned that the world-famous oracle predicted the fall of the European Union in 2022. Nostradamus, the famous mystic from 450 years ago, who's known for his out-there predictions. He tended to be right in a lot of things. Oh, is that what he looked like? Look at that beard. What a handsome man. Looks like he tastes like butter. I haven't had a human in a while. Anyway, the seer, also known as Michael de Nostradam, came up with all his predictions more than blah, blah, blah in the Les Prophetes. His prophecies are cryptic 4-line poems with almost oracle-like vagueness to them. This has left his work to be open to wild interpretation. You have to be careful of this, of filling in the blanks yourself, right? Of you seeing the patterns that aren't there and manifesting those for yourself. So, but he did predict, it's kind of hard to deny some of these predictions, right? The terrorist attacks, Hitler, Nazi party. If you guys are, we should do a episode on Nostradamus, huh? We should literally I'd like to look at it from both sides. not just puffing the no, not just following Nostradamus and in filling in the blanks ourselves, maybe being a little skeptical, kind of looking at both sides, right, and then kind of working our way up the middle of this guy, this famous guy. Major Moss says Nostradamus huffed mercury. I don't deny it. I don't doubt it, right? I believe it. A lot of these sages did some sort of kind of like wild and crazy drugs, right? Which stimulated their their consciousness to allow them to get data from outside, from entities or other dimensions, or slip through time. There's this long theory that our consciousness is bound to our physical bodies, and that through the use of drugs and other stimulants and different things like that, we can disconnect our consciousness and use it to explore. So, yeah, the astrologer's prediction took the form of 4-line poems. In his ever-ambiguous style, he wrote Sacred Temples, Prime Roman Style, Reject the Godfrey's Foundations. Oh, this is the prediction itself. Okay, let me read this again. Let me try and blow this up here. Oh, look at that. Technology. In his ever-ambiguous style, he wrote Sacred Temples, Prime Roman Style, or Reject Godfrey's Foundations. I mean, that is fucking vague, right? Like, I don't know what the hell that means. While this may feel a stretch to some, others pointed to the Treaty of Rome, ratified in 1957, which essentially founded the Union. I don't know. That's a stretch. I'm gonna put a Nostradamus story. Let's do one, guys. Not right now, but I'm gonna put it down as a show. Shows Nostradamus. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. What I'd like to do is come out with an episode and then go on Mike's show, talk about my episode, give you a little sample, a little taste, and then and kind of talk about stuff there, my findings. I think that's a good format, good way of doing things. All right, let me look at the chat here. Major Moth, thank you for being engaged. Lucifer, are you Australian Ash? Not yet, mate, but I would like to destroy Australia if possible. There's the blimey cunts down there. So I have this blood somewhere. We'll send pictures of Discord sometime. Oh yeah, send me whatever, man. Send me some weird stuff. Some people send me some weirdo pictures of their backyards and they catch stuff. Every once in a while, I get something. I'm like, maybe you got something there, So let's have you communicated with UAPs? Let's watch a little more of this.
Communication between UAPs, and or has there been communication with UAPs?
I'm not aware of any interception of communications with UAPs. As far as communication with UAPs, once again, I kind of hate to split hairs here. I don't want to upset anybody, but let's be specific. What does communicate mean? I mean, you and I are having a conversation in English and we're communicating, but if I stand behind a wall and I
did they send nudes? I mean, that's the universal language. Did you see them naked or not? Did they send nudes? If you haven't sent nudes, it's not a serious conversation. That's how galactic law works. Some of the greatest, most beautiful treaties of galactic history start with a good old nude spread. Little fun fact for you guys. Bet you didn't know that.
I aim an assault rifle at you. Am I communicating with you? Yeah, I am. I'm communicating an intent or a threat, right? If a dog growls and shows its teeth to you as you try to kneel down and pet it, is it communicating? Yeah, it's communicating. It's telling you, hey, I don't want to be pet right now. Don't touch me. So, if a UAP is behaving in a provocative manner, meaning it's obviously knows that we are aware that it is there, and doesn't seem to mind, doesn't seem to try to hide itself in some cases. It's been perhaps hovering over one of our military equities for a prolonged period of time. Is that communication? Well, I would submit to you, yes, it's probably communication. It's not verbal communication, but it's signaling some sort of intent. Yes, I know you're there, and yes, I know you know that I'm here, and I'm okay with that. And I want you to know that I'm here. Now, what's the rationale? What's the reasoning intent behind it? We don't know, but that is communication. If when we do a show of force, and if we fly an SR-71 at 100,000 feet and we don't want the enemy to see us, but if I take a couple F-22 Raptors and I fly off the coast of, let's say, a disputed territory in the South China Sea, I'm communicating with a country. It may not be through dialogue, but make no mistake, I'm communicating very clearly and very effectively my intent to another party. And so I think therein lies the question: are these things trying to communicate with us? And if so, will we be smart enough to recognize it as some sort of communication versus just two ships passing in the night? I do think that the more brazen that these incidents become, the more there may be an attempt to try to communicate. They obviously, whatever it is aware that we are there, and we are aware that they're there.
That was kind of sus to me, guys. He almost said it as if it's an inevitability that these things will become more brazen. I'm convinced that most of these sightings are our stuff, our secret stuff. If you're just joining us, hi, I'm Ash. And I am a reptilian. Stranded on Mars. If you haven't subscribed yet, if you haven't liked the video, please do, or be destroyed. I do know that you were here, and if I find out that when I invade, you didn't like my video, that's it. I'm blowing you up. I'm putting you all Australia, and I'm detonating that sucker. So, for your life, I will spare you if you like and subscribe my channel. And thank you for stopping by. But yeah, I think that these videos are our stuff. We're just taking our shit and just flying it in front of our own cameras. And we know that we're going to get a reaction. We're forcing the narrative ourselves. All you got to do is take our secret shit, fly in front of our not so secret shit enough. And eventually, the mainstream portion of the military has to do something, and then we can control the narrative in that way. You gotta always wonder why is this happening? Why are they doing this? So if you don't think that's true, you think I'm blowing smoke up your culo, as they say, then let's take a look at this. I got something for you, sucker. Let's look at U.S. Navy's UFO-like patent raises questions. Oh, what's this? What? I thought the government didn't know anything. That's so weird. February 3rd. Wow, not too long ago, huh? Is it, boys and girls? So-called high-energy electromagnetic field generator could have far-reaching military and commercial implications. That needs to be a word. So, if I had foreseen Hiroshima and Nagasaki, I would have torn my formula up in 1905. Albert Einstein, a little precursor to what's possible. If these technologies are real, if our government has control of them, the potential for devastation is immense. It's absolutely mind-boggling. So it has long been claimed, so this is from the asiatimes.com, by the way, somewhat legit site. It has long been claimed by ufologists that the U.S. government has been back engineering UFOs at Area S4. See, it used to be 51, and we're catching on to you, you bastards. The ultra-secret site within Area 51. In 1989, scientist Bob Lazar, who claimed to work at the base, spilled the beans on the UFOs, in that the government had several of them. Saw smaller saucer-like UFOs he said he was studying was a sport model. Supposedly it was based on correcting gravity waves. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. So yeah, whether or not this came from a reactor which amplified the gravity waves, which extended beyond the atom of element 115, which he predicted to exist and was manifested later. Like he predicted before it existed, that it would exist and that they were using it for experiments. Whether any of that is true or not, the U.S. Navy's Naval Air Warfare Central Aircraft Division filed a number of seemingly out-of-this-world patents that could, in theory, revolutionize not only military aviation, but just about everything. Ooh, look at this. So recently, Brett Tingley over at the War Zone received a fresh dump of documents pertaining to these patents for a Freedom of Information Act request. Thank God for this shit, right? The Freedom of Information Act. The War Zone has been leading the charge on analysis on these unusual patents ever since they surfaced 2 years ago by the Navy. According to documents, compact fusion reactor, which among other things could allow for creation of space-time modification weapon. Ooh, modifying space-time. Per the Navy's own internal documents, this weapon could make the hydrogen bomb seem like a firecracker in comparison. Not a good thing, in my opinion. Not a good thing. Patents were born out of the work of the U.S. Navy aerospace engineer Dr. Salvatore Pius. Oh, I've heard of this. And as crazy as inventions may sound, the Navy clearly seems to think they are worth exploring. National interest reported. So yeah, so far it's confirmed that it's poured $500,000 into helping this program mature since 2017. So interesting. Let's scroll down here. This is a long ass article. It's too much to read here. So yeah, there's a lot of different patents on space-time manipulation, physics, shit that's like doesn't really supposed to work yet, right? Like these are this is technology that doesn't exist, or we don't know how to make it work, supposedly. But the Navy secretly has supposedly has a secret space program. And they say that these different branches of government, the Air Force, the Navy, they have their own secret space programs, and they sort of compete against each other for information and for all kinds of stuff. So yeah, interesting article. I'm gonna go ahead and post this one. It's pretty in depth. It's pretty thick, as they say. I'm gonna actually stash this one away. This is a good one, and we'll probably go into this in depth a little bit more in the future. So we'll talk about reverse engineering. All right, save that one. All right, let's get to our final article, and then we'll end it with some reptilian videos. What do you say? One of my own videos, we'll live stream it if you haven't seen it yet. So let's go ahead on that. All right, NASA is hiring priests to prepare humans for contact with aliens. Now, we've talked about a lot of sus sort of things tonight. I think this is the sussiest of the susses, right? NASA is hiring priests to prepare human contacts with aliens. I mean, I don't know. Actually, I really want to hear what you guys have to say about this. Can you please, if you're listening right now, what do you think about that headline? NASA our space interface, right? Our interface to space, the public's interface to space, is hiring priests to prepare humans for contact with aliens. Now, after everything we've seen tonight, this is the cherry on top. It's kind of hard. If you were a betting man, you know? If you were a betting man, I don't know. So let's go through this. The National Space and Aeronautics Administration, NASA, is enlisting help of 24 theologians as part of an effort to determine how different religions around the world will react to contacts with aliens. Reported Technotrends. A reverend is already working with NASA. Reverend Dr. Andrew Davidson, a British priest and theologist at Cambridge University, has a degree in biochemistry. Next year, he is releasing his book on the subject about discovery of life affects beliefs of religions across the world. So, wow, search for alien race has been a matter of fascination for humankind for centuries. As tools of modern science become more and more available, scientists have cast an informed gaze at the universe in search of alien life. There are several candidates in our solar system itself. Scientists think that Europa... No, okay, all right, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fuck you. No. Yeah, exactly, Jay Miller. Good point, bro. Hold on one sec. Let me get my face right. My face, like, gets stuck. God. All right, I'm back. If they were preparing for us to meet amoebas and fucking germs, they wouldn't have to like hire theologists across the planet, you know? Like if an alien comes down, bleep blop 5, and he looks like a giant purple dildo, okay? That's ramifications for society and how we should handle that, right? That's a PR moment. If I go, hey, we found amoebas on fucking Saturn's moon, like that could have already happened and people wouldn't even know, right? People are well beyond that. They already suspect there's UFOs, there's aliens. Conversation is well beyond that. It's almost like NASA is evil, right? Like NASA's like some fucking Project Paperclip German bullshit. Like, I don't trust that, motherfuckers. You know, we're talking amoebas on Saturn's moon. Get out of here, bro. We're ready. We're ready for that conversation to move on. Okay? And it is moving on. And we watched some of those videos tonight. You know, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go back through. You can go and watch, you know, Tom DeLonge, Luis Elizondo. They're dropping hints of stuff that they've seen. It's pretty much they're saying it's real. These aliens are real. I mean, there's one right in front of you. The most handsome one you could possibly find. I'm right here. Stop denying me. And then we're still talking about amoebas. It's just wild to me. So it's not going to shake the planet up if we find an amoeba. No one gives a shit. Okay? No one fucking cares anymore. So let's get this moving. I think people are ready. Honestly, I think if disclosure doesn't happen soon, I don't think it'll ever will. Let me put it to you that way. If humans can't get it out in this time, I don't think aliens have. I would just be careful, humans. You know, let me put it to you that way. Yeah, I don't want to get into it, but it's you know, if aliens wanted you to know that they're there, they would easily, like, they could come down, put 2 fingers in your butthole, and there's nothing you could do about it, right? And you're gonna know they're there. You're gonna feel it. But the fact that they don't means they want to keep it a secret, and you can assume that's for a good reason. But I doubt it. I doubt it's for a good reason. So I think it's up to humans to put pressure and to get this shit out, right? The government's not gonna come out and make an announcement, you know, except about amoebas. God damn it. How long is that gonna take? Fucking amoebas. No one gives a shit about amoebas. So anyway, if you want to meet Bleep Blob 5, you want to do some fucking alien DMT, with was Zorp 772. You know, that's you're already doing it. You're here. You're talking to an alien. We're looking at this kind of weirdo shit. Don't be ashamed of yourself. You know, it means you're smart. It means you fucking look up, you see that night sky, and you go, there's some shit there, right? Like, there's some shit up there. And then you look and you're like, wow, there's a lot of shit up there. So, you know, there's no way that you could be the only thing in the universe. It's teeming with life from what we hear. Tons of civilizations. And they're going to look back at this era where we pretended like we were the only life in the universe. And they're going to look at this time, they're going to think we're idiots. You know? When we look back in history and you think, you know, they used to like wear crazy masks and like throw blood at you and do dances for the spirit gods. And you look at that and you're like, that's some stupid shit, right? So they're going to look back at this time and be like, you fell for it, you're dumb, you know, but not you guys. If you're in here, and you're listening to this stream, I'm proud of you, okay? You're resisting the program, and you're smart enough to see through the veil. So, thank you for joining me. You know, we talked about a lot of stuff tonight. We had some interesting articles. The Disclosure, Luis Elizondo, we had Tom DeLonge, we had some crazy articles. We shopped for a wife, vacuum cleaners. We found some hot ones, you know, which may or may not show up in my order history. I don't know. You know, put a Lex on that sucker, duct tape or two. You start talking some sweet nothings, you know, turn the power up all the way to high. I don't know. I'm just saying, you know, there's a Amazon warehouse up here on Mars. Jeff Bezos camps. Make that, you know, life gives you lemons. You make lemonade. I'm just saying. But, Hidden Underbelly, thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you here. Yeah, you don't worry, man. We're gonna have more streams. I'm gonna play an episode, one of my old episodes. I'm gonna live stream it here, and you can always scroll back through. We'll end the stream soon and go back through. Thanks again for everyone for joining. Please subscribe if you haven't. Like the video, really helps. I already have some haters. I guess they don't like my green skin, so you gotta counteract the down votes with some up votes. So I appreciate that. Yeah, thanks for joining me. You know what? We're gonna go do this. We're gonna hit the intro. It has an outro. I just love that shit. You know, it's a custom song. Pretty dope. And yeah, it's good to see you guys. If you want me to stream more, please just again like and subscribe. The more engagement I see, the more you kind of make me have to do this stuff. So you got me at gunpoint here. So I appreciate you, and I love all the support. And I mean, I will say I am still planning on destroying pretty much most of the population, the human population. But you know, don't take it so personally. You know, maybe you'll be one of my generals, and you'll have like a whole hierarchy of people below you. You know, and you can rest easy on the bed of the opposite sex or whatever, you know. Maybe I'll give you, well, you know, you can be having build statues, all kinds of stuff. Let your imagination be your guide. But again, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna do a little outro, and then I'm gonna play a video. And yeah, I had fun. It was a good time talking about robots and stuff. So all right, bye humans. Ah!
I have a follow-up question to what you just said, which is there are wolves that are watching you like a hawk. Is there another reason outside of national security that they don't want you to disclose what you may disclose, or they're worried you may?
Yeah, I mean,
What is their worry outside of them?
there have been, forbidden truths, we can call them, if you will. Forbidden truths.
This is the second interview with Luis Elizondo and his longest interview ever. Luis Elizondo is a former U.S. Army counterintelligence special agent, mostly known as the director of the now defunct ATIP, a program initiated by the Defense Intelligence Agency in order to study unidentified aerial phenomenon, also known as UFO form. Thank you and enjoy this conversation, one of the most revelatory conversations with Luis Elizondo to date. That's primarily thanks to you, as this was an AMA. That is, questions were gleaned from you. Thank you for watching/listening, and thank you, Lou, for your generosity to them. I have a follow-up question to what you just said, which is there are wolves that are watching you like a hawk. Is there another reason outside of national security that they don't want you to disclose what you may disclose, or they're worried you may?
Yeah, I mean,
What is their worry outside of them?
there have been, forbidden truths, we can call them, if you will. There have been forbidden truths in the history of not just our country, but many countries. Truths that could upset a balance that's been around for a long time. Let me give you case in point. Let's say there were some people that were doing their job by running a UFO program in the past, but because certain things happened, presidents were no longer briefed, people in Congress were no longer briefed who should have been, and now they're running an operation that's considered rogue, but it's still an important mission. Turns out, all of a sudden now, let's say hypothetically, the cat's out of the bag. What's going to happen to those people when the government realizes they were running operations, for better or for worse, without any oversight, without any legal oversight, right? Who's going to be held accountable for that? The fact that they did not brief legally like they were supposed to certain members of Congress and committees and oversight committees and their chain of command. That's potentially criminal action. Let's say, I've said this before, let's say you have two competing companies. You have aerospace company A and aerospace company B. And aerospace company A, for whatever reason, gets a favor, and some sort of really exotic, game-changing material is provided to that company to do this analysis. Meanwhile, company B, who is competing fairly, doesn't get that material. Turns out company A now starts getting a lot of contracts, defense contracts, and becomes a multi-billion-dollar company, while company B, who never had the advantage of having that material, goes into bankruptcy. Hundreds of people lose their jobs, and stockholders lose their investment. Keeping in mind that both companies are supposed to be treated fairly and have fair competition when it comes to U.S. government contracts. Now what? Now what happens? Where's the liability? And by the way, now these companies are doing good things for the United States, but they got there because they had an unfair advantage, competitive advantage, potentially. Again, I'm not. This is hypothetical, right? Where's the liability there? You're talking about trillions and trillions of dollars worth of liability. And who made those decisions to do that? Who's going to be held culpable for that? The Security Exchange Commission would not be very happy to know that two publicly traded companies were competing for a contract. One had an unfair advantage, the other went bankrupt. That's a problem. That's a real problem. And so you're talking about big money interests. You're talking about things that are going into that gray world that go beyond just government interests. You're talking about banking. You're talking about some of the biggest names on the planet that have a lot to lose or a lot to gain in hindsight. So, I think we always have to be careful that governments have always had interesting ties to certain interests, and that's true of all governments. It's not just the U.S. That's everybody, and we need to be mindful of that. Because you could be putting some people in a very uncomfortable position, and I'm aware of that, and that's why I've been very delicate how I approach this topic. I'm not trying to beat anybody up. I'm not trying to expose anybody and say, ah, ha, ha, gotcha, see there. I'm trying to have the conversation in a collaborative, meaningful way where everybody wins. Nobody has to get burned, right? It's not a zero-sum game. I'm not.
Hypothetically, do they view it like that? Like there's a potential where everyone can win, or do they view it somewhat zero-sum?
Well, I can't speak for them. I can't tell you what they think. All I can tell you is what I think and my approach. And my approach is to say, look, guys, we're not trying to expose anybody. This is not, it's not a witch hunt, despite what you may see on social media where everybody wants their pound of flesh. That's not going to get us anywhere. We need to be adults about this. And we need to have a conversation that if you really want the truth to come out, you better be willing to compromise. We're not gonna sit there and put people to be eaten by the lions just to satisfy someone's ego or beef that they might have with somebody else. The truth is more important than that. This is not about see, I told you so, or being vindicated. This is about having a conversation that can affect all of humanity, and we have to be willing to set aside some of that, if you will, and understandably so. You've got lots and lots of decades worth of people covering this up. I know there's a lot of animosity and resentment as a result of that by people saying, you've been lying to us for all this time, but we got to be willing to put that aside if we really want to move forward, in my opinion.
You're referring to animosity from the general public, or animosity from some of these wolves?
No, general public who want their pound of flesh because people have been covering this topic up for too long, knowing that it's real and lying to the American people.
Potentially, how long is too long? Potentially, is it centuries? Is it decades?
Well, there's information that goes way. I live here in Wyoming, and I live next to members of the Crow Nation. And if you've ever had a chance to talk and really engage with indigenous people, first of all, they're very, very private. Two, they have an incredibly rich history. Their oral traditions and oral history doesn't go back a few hundred years. It goes back millennia. In fact, when Europe was facing its dark ages and mankind almost went extinct in the European continent, and we were burning books, indigenous people over here were experiencing a golden era. That wasn't the case over here. And the way they look at nature, the way they look at this topic, UAP, is not like we look at it through Western
including to my many enemies.
At all. In fact,
Happy New Year to all, including to my many enemies, and those who have fought me and lost so badly. They just don't know what to do.
And I think there's some beauty there. They're not held hostage by their fears. In fact, they embrace it, and that goes to show that you don't have to view this topic as an either or. It doesn't have to be viewed as a threat or as some sort of saving opportunity for our species. It could just be a natural part of our existence. Again, do I subscribe to that? I don't know, but I certainly think it's another way, another perspective that we should consider. If that is the case, and they're right, then we've been dealing with this for millennia. I can tell you that having a chance to talk to some people in the Vatican, they describe these flaming Roman shields in the sky that would follow them from battlefield to battlefield, what they call the eclipus, which is the shape of the Roman shield. That's documented. That's there. In fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I haven't read it from Jacques Vallée, but from my understanding, Jacques Vallée even wrote a little bit about that. But I've seen that evidence myself. There is there is documentation of these strange things in the sky going back a long, long time. So I don't think it's necessarily modern. Maybe our understanding is a little bit more advanced and maybe consider that modern, but I don't think we're dealing with a new phenomenon. I think we may be dealing with a new recognition and perhaps, hopefully, at some point, a new understanding. But I don't think this is a new phenomenon to mankind. I think we've been faced with this phenomenon for quite some time.
Thanks again for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. We're gonna go ahead and end the stream here. And yeah. Thanks again for joining. Appreciate ya. And I'll see you next time on Ash, the reptilian from Mars. Mars.